Welcome to the final week of our session 3. You have a few assignments due this week, so let's take a look at those. So first off, you're going to be finishing the project, so just work on that. You do have a slideshow that's due at the end of the week. I put it due Thursday so I can help teams get stuff done. We're going to look at that in a moment. You have a weekly journal to do. You know how to do that. We'll start on Monday. You'll hand back the half sheets on Monday to make sure your goal is established for the week. And then you're presenting next week. So we're preparing for that because the advisory members are going to come in next week for that, which is really cool. So let's take a look at the slideshow. So when you click on the assignment, it's going to have a link to a template. When you open up the template, somebody on your team needs to make a copy of it. And just a reminder, when you go to make a copy of it, you have to make sure you do this. You have to select on your folder here, not my folder, because it'll say you don't have permissions. So please click on your folder and then you'll be good to go. Make a copy. Then the team fills out the first slides together. So you're going to fill out this stuff, okay? And then each person is responsible for their section. So if you're this person, you're going to put your material in here. Now, each class has their version of it. So for instance, if this is film, the log line goes here, genre, styles, inspirational works, strong points, the film, and so on. Then we have the rules. And the same thing in School of Rock. It's different for each class. The structures are similar, but the idea is who did what and so on and so forth. So just read the slide template and that should help. Moving on to the weekly journal, you know the process. Just be careful to make sure that you're putting in here the justification for best practices. Remember, the best practices have been updated. So the lists have more stuff in them, and I want you to focus on making sure that you name the best practice and how you showcased it, okay? And make sure you're reflecting on this stuff. Most people are. A number of people forgot to do this, so they did not get full credit for it. And of course, we'll be setting our goal on Monday. And a number of people are still not deleting all my directions. Please do that. You will not get full credit because your blog post will be not properly formatted from this point on because I tell you a number of times to do that. And down here, same thing. Make sure you delete my stuff. Okay, it's pretty obvious. All right. And let's see. Now let's take a look at the big giant spreadsheets. So the project tracking sheets, or PTS, are the things we're going to be updating. You have your weekly journal. So set your goal on Monday. Okay, that's yellow because that's, start with that. Then this stuff needs to be filled in. So this is School of Rock. So they have School of Rock stuff. And you will be practicing your presentation with me at the end of the week. So I will call the team members over to click on the link on the big presentation station. Well, it's not big, it's just a computer at the front of the room. And each class has their version of it. So here's what game design looks like. You have your stuff you need to have in here. And this is what film looks like. So very similar stuff. Again, all this stuff is due. I will work with you to practice your presentation and make sure everything's there before the end of the week. And yeah, so that's it. We're wrapping stuff up. It's going to be a good week.